A tough new law goes into effect this week in the nation's gang capital, Los Angeles. Identified members of the notorious 18th Street Gang will not be allowed to appear together in public, even to stand together in their own front yards. The city is targeting the 18th Street Gang because it is one of the nation's largest and fastest-growing gangs.
18th Street Gang, the rise of a gang. As the night deepened in the shadowy streets of Los Angeles, a heavy tension hung in the air. In the heart of the city, within just a few square miles, a gang ruled with fear and ambition. 18th Street Gang. Once merely a street presence, this criminal empire soon spread across America and even into Central America. It had firmly entrenched itself in the underworld. However, to see it only as a criminal organization would be to miss the deeper Vidifa story. 18th Street represented much more than just crime. It symbolized despair, a yearning for belonging, and a fight for survival. The birth of a gang. In the late 1980s, the poorest neighborhoods of Los Angeles were home to a surge of Latin immigrants. Those arriving from Mexico, El Salvador, and Guatemala had failed to find the American dream they had hoped for. They couldn't find work, faced racist attacks, and struggled to survive in the growing poverty of the city's slums. They needed a way to survive. In 1989, a group of young people gathered on 18th Street in Los Angeles, drawn together by their shared need for protection and survival. Each had a different background, a different story, but they all had one common goal: survival. 18th Street Gang was the name of their fight for life. What began as petty thefts, street fights, and small-time crimes quickly evolved into a fully fledged gang. In its early years, 18th Street clashed with other local gangs. No matter how hard they tried to avoid it, these confrontations only led to more violence. Over time, 18th Street members began to spread beyond Los Angeles, extending their reach to other cities across the United States and into Central America. The gang became a transnational force, involved in everything from drug trafficking to human trafficking, family, loyalty, and violence. What made the gang most terrifying was the unshakable loyalty between its members. For 18th Street, family was everything. They had grown up together, endured pain together, and fought to survive together in the same streets. Losing one of their own wasn't just a loss, it was the collapse of an entire world. Members of the gang were fiercely loyal, punishing any hint of betrayal with extreme violence. Breaking the gang's rules could lead to death or something much worse. The gang's bonds went beyond just the members themselves. It tied them to the world around them in an unbreakable way. But this loyalty could also turn into brutality. 18th Street became legendary for its violence. In its wars with rival gangs, murder, torture, and revenge became commonplace. Gang members moved like shadows through the streets, writing their own rules as they went. Their conflicts with other gangs spread fear throughout the city. Every street corner harbored danger. Wherever the name 18th Street was heard, there was the scent of death and violence. A global crime network. The growth of 18th Street wasn't limited to the United States. Soon, the gang began to spread throughout Central America. In countries like El Salvador and Guatemala, the gang's influence grew stronger with each passing day. Many young people fled their home countries and crossed into America to join 18th Street. The gang didn't just accept these newcomers as members, it made them part of its family. Their mission was simple: more power, more money, and more territory. The gang's criminal activities, including drug trafficking, human smuggling, and extortion, went beyond the streets of Los Angeles. The criminal empire stretched across borders from the US to Mexico, and from there to Honduras and El Salvador. This sprawling criminal network posed a significant threat to international law enforcement. As 18th Street's influence grew, the gang transformed from a street presence into a powerful international crime syndicate, surviving in the dark. So, what were the members of 18th Street fighting for? For many, it wasn't just about crime. Sometimes, the gang felt like the only true family they had. They had no choice but to do whatever it took to survive. Poverty, racism, and social exclusion turned them into heroes in their own eyes. These individuals, rejected by society, were simply creating their own rules to survive on the streets. 18th Street, while infamous for crime, violence, and death, had also become a symbol of belonging, loyalty, and resilience. Gang members were often willing to risk everything to defend their family. However, that family was often forced to pay a bloody price. In the darkness of the night, as the influence of 18th Street Gang spread further through the back alleys of Los Angeles, its members fought not just for survival, but to protect those they loved. While the mere mention of the gang's name conjured fear in many people's minds, few understood the hope and struggle for survival behind it. Because behind every gang, there is often an ordinary person fighting an ordinary fight to stay alive.